I was on a weekend getaway with my parents at a hot spring hotel, planning to send a selfie from the hotel to my best buddy, just to show off a bit. But somehow I ended up sending it to my lifelong nemesis Little Green Plum by mistake. Completely oblivious, I sent the photo and headed straight for a bath. After I was done, I found my phone flooded with dozens of messages and several missed calls. Silent Stone, what's the meaning of this? It's late at night and you're at a hotel for what? Who are you with? Are you trying to get yourself killed? Didn't you tell me you weren't dating anyone? I've already tracked down which hotel you're at. I'll be there in half an hour. You better wait for me. Before I could even explain, a voice rang out from beyond the door, graceful poem shouting my name, Silent Stone. Open the door for me now. I opened the door, my face darkening. She stood there weary from her journey, scrutinizing me from head to toe. I was wrapped in nothing but a bath towel. She was panting out of breath. That photo was sent to the wrong person. Why are you flipping out? Before I could finish, graceful poem stormed into the room, ransacking it from top to bottom, even digging through the trash can. What are you looking for? Silent Stone, are you secretly dating behind my back? She glared at me full of fire. Don't tell me you came here alone. Taking a bath, snapping photos, the works. I was speechless. Who goes on a getaway alone? See, it's obvious, isn't it? Last week you were still single as a monk. You even bet me that whoever dates first has to bark like a dog. Now I want to hear how you bark. She searched and found nothing. Graceful poem pointed right at my nose and demanded, where's the beauty you're hiding in this room? I gestured to the room next door. She immediately made to charge out. I lazily said, I'm here with my parents. They're in the next room. Graceful poem screeched to a halt, then plopped down on the sofa. Why didn't you say so earlier? So you're here with uncle and aunt. Should I go greet them? Does your foster mom miss me? I nearly burst out laughing. What a 180-degree turnaround. It's the middle of the night. My parents have been asleep for hours. Graceful poem's mom and my mom are best friends. So naturally, graceful poem and I were supposed to be like siblings, but fate had other plans. Our families with one boy and one girl. We're thrilled at first, thinking we'd grow even closer, maybe even seal a childhood betrothal. But graceful poem and I are just too incompatible. Back in kindergarten, we'd bicker like cats and dogs, as if we were sworn enemies from a past life. Just like now, I accidentally sent her a photo, and she drove dozens of kilometers to confront me. See, no girl here. I'm still single as ever. Happy now. Satisfied. This girl, probably because she's been single since the womb, can't stand the thought of me dating. From childhood to now, she's been my little shadow. Whenever a girl got even slightly close to me, she'd rattle off 100 of my flaws. Any budding romance was snuffed out by graceful poem before it could bloom, confirming I wasn't sneaking around behind her back. The little brat seemed in high spirits. No surprise there. With your rotten personality, what clear-eyed girl would like you? Her jab made me laugh in spite of myself. She kept that mocking grin on her face. But the front desk says there are no rooms left. If I drive 2 hours back home, I'm afraid I'll be too tired and crash. Then stay here, you annoying pest. Fine, I'll leave, alright. Graceful poem sprang up from the sofa, feigning agony. If I die, I'll turn into a ghost and haunt your bedside every night. Her little face puffed up like a steamed bun in anger. I softened, sighing, alright, fine. Graceful poem immediately froze in place. You sleep on the bed, I'll take the sofa. Reality proved you shouldn't go soft, especially with a troublemaker like graceful poem. Asleep yet? Are you asleep? Graceful poem on my bed asked me every 2 minutes. I closed my eyes, pretending to sleep, ignoring her. Not asleep, right? You're not even grinding your teeth. Are you faking it? I couldn't take it anymore, took a deep breath, and let out a long sigh. When have I ever ground my teeth? I gave you the bed and you still want sleep quietly. Graceful poem smirked, I knew it. She giggled triumphantly. When we were kids sleeping at your house, you'd grind your teeth all night, like you were chewing on human flesh. Scared me to death. Little ancestor, can we not bring up stuff from when we were 3? I'm sleepy, going to bed. I can't sleep. This bed's too soft. I feel like I'm sinking into it. I ignored her refusing to respond, rolled over and kept sleeping. Graceful Poem spoke up again. Hey, I forgot to ask. Who were you sending that photo to? Taking a selfie flexing your ABS and all. I shut my eyes, took several deep breaths, and snapped irritably, if you don't sleep, the big bad wolf will eat you. Speak or don't, who were you showing off to? Her voice was right by my ear. I startled, eyes flying open, to see Graceful Poem wrapped in a blanket, only her little head poking out, standing beside me. Are you trying to die? I shot up from the sofa. Why'd you sneak up like that? Her face turned cold, pressing speak. Who was it for? For Bright Harmony, alright. Bright Harmony is my best friend, and Graceful Poem knows him. She flopped back onto my sofa, still wrapped in the blanket. So it was Bright Harmony. Why didn't you say so earlier? Shed completely killed my urge to sleep, and she, the little devil, made herself at home, taking over half the sofa with her theatrics. Honestly, how's the muscle I've been working on lately? It's nothing special. If even you think it's nothing special, then Sister Snow probably won't like it either. Graceful Poem, who'd been sprawled out, suddenly sprang up like a carp flopping on the shore. Sister Snow? Which Sister Snow? Not that Sister Snow who looks like a goddess from the last student council photo, right? I knew she'd lose it. Any hint of me escaping singlehood, and Graceful Poem gets more anxious than anyone. Seeing her riled up made me oddly satisfied. I turned my back to her. Casually dropping Sister Snow invited me to the beach. Good night. Graceful Poem was thoroughly provoked. I could hear her panting in fury. Why, Sister Snow asking you to the beach? Does she have a thing for you? Those big beautiful eyes of hers, sorry they blind. Her footsteps stomped back and forth. So you've been hitting the gym building muscle, just to show off in front of her, huh? You're done for, you hear me? Speak. I was secretly thrilled, drawling lazily. I'm asleep. Turn around. Graceful Poem tossed the blanket aside, grabbed me and forced me to face her. No sleeping. She was too close. Her hands braced on either side of my head. Since we were 10, we hadn't fought physically anymore. This was the first time we'd been this close, and she was only wearing a thin nightgown. Both of us froze stunned. After a moment of silence, I spoke first. Why is your face so red? Not just her face. Her ears were blazing like they might bleed. Graceful Poem paused, then said, you got me so mad and burning up. Her face took on a rare seriousness. No trace of her usual defiance. At this distance, I suddenly realized the little girl I'd always seen as a kid had somehow grown into a young woman. Her graceful figure, her breath so close, her eyes locked on mine. For some reason, it felt entirely different from usual. The air around us seemed to heat up, and my whole body felt a simmering warmth. My mind caught fire. I reached out to adjust the collar of her nightgown. She instantly punched me in the chest. The pain made me yelp, Silent Stone, what are you doing? I coughed several times, rubbing the spot she hit. I was fixing your collar. Good intentions, and you treat me like a villain. She frowned, looking displeased. Clearly, she was the one who hit me. Yet now it seemed like I'd bullied her. After a moment of silence, her big eyes sparkled, a sly glint flashing through them. That look usually meant she was up to no good. Before I could react, a pair of small hands landed on my chest. Where does it hurt? Where does it hurt? I tried to push her off, but she pinned me down. I blocked one side but not the other. Just as I was about to lose the struggle, Graceful Poem let out a yelp and froze. I grunted, veins popping on my forehead. Her face was visibly scarlet. If it was peach pink before, now it was ripe tomato red. She clearly realized where she was sitting. I gritted my teeth, enduring, my face a mask of resignation. Little ancestor, stop tormenting me. She stiffened for a moment, then let go, grabbing the blanket and fleeing. Hey, I called after her, where are you going? Without turning back, she snapped, to sleep. Didn't you say the bed was too soft? I thought you wanted to switch and take the sofa. Sleep, my foot. It sounded like this was all my fault. I said, exasperated. Excuse me, who is the one who jumped on me and pinned me to the sofa just now? For once she didn't argue back. After a long silence, I heard Graceful Poem mutter softly, "I'm done with you, you idiot." That night, neither of us slept well. I dreamed all night. Dreams filled with Graceful Poem at every age. Sometimes she was the little brat who'd steal my snacks, gloating when she succeeded, crying when she didn't. Then she was the junior high version, making me bike her to and from school every day, forcing me to call her Princess Please bored. Finally, she became the Graceful Poem of now. In the dream, her eyes brimmed with tears, gazing at me filled with water. She shouted at me, "Silent Stone, you're the dumbest jerk in the world." I slept fitfully all night. Waking up to see Graceful Poem, I couldn't help but shudder. But it seemed she hadn't slept well either. The first thing she did upon seeing me was to shoot me a massive glare. The next morning, both of us sported for dark circles under our eyes. Then my mom stuffed me into Graceful Poem's car. Young people are so full of energy, driving over 100 kilometers in the middle of the night to meet up. You drive on the way back, son. Graceful Poem must be exhausted. Boys these days so clueless about taking initiative. My mom smiled, her eyes full of meaning. At that moment, I felt like my own mother was a fake, as if Graceful Poem was her real daughter, putting me and her in the same car. No need to worrying about anyone dozing off, just worrying about us not fighting. I drove with a scowl. "Tell me, you drove all the way here in the middle of the night just to pick a fight?" She snorted, not bothering to reply. After a while, she hesitantly spoke up. "Are you really going to the beach with that pretty sister?" Her tone dripped with jealousy. I smirked. "It's a student volunteer group trip, all right. She helped me a lot with department stuff before. I wanted to treat her to dinner, but haven't had the chance." Graceful Poem cut me off. "She helped you, and you still have to treat her to dinner. You haven't even treated her yet, have you? You're planning to give her a gift to thank her. What do girls like? Perfume, jewelry, or food?" She pursed her lips, interrupting again. "With your terrible taste, what kind of gift could you pick? Food it is then. I remember you loved the little bear cookies I made. Go with those." She fell silent, her lips pressed tight like I owed her millions. "What's wrong?" I glanced at her. "Speaking of which, you're the one who made me learn to bake those cookies. Back then I burned my hands and got scars just to make them." Graceful Poem gave a cold laugh. "Go ahead, make them. Your stuff could make someone fat to death. She's a beauty. No way she'd eat your greasy, fatty food." I shot back, "You've eaten it your whole life and haven't gotten fat. What nonsense." Graceful Poem shrieked in rage, then lunged to pinch me. I gripped the steering wheel tightly, trying to get us both killed. I pushed her back to the passenger seat. "Sit still. No distracting the driver." Meeting Graceful Poem in this lifetime is like a never-ending ordeal. Let's just say I'm here to face my karmic trials. On the day of the volunteer group event, I still brought my homemade little bear cookies. Bright Harmony said expensive gifts might not be accepted. It's the thought that counts. And my cookies are pretty tasty, thanks entirely to Graceful Poem's discerning palate. So I carried the carefully wrapped bag of cookies and headed toward the restaurant that evening. "Silent Stone," someone called me. I stopped and turned around. Graceful Poem, panting, ran up to me. Before my brain could catch up, she snatched the bag of cookies from my hand. Still catching her breath, she tore open the bag and stuffed a cookie in her mouth. "Are you insane?" I reached to grab it back. Graceful Poem hugged the bag and bolted. Normally she'd complain about climbing stairs, but today she ran like the wind. By the time I caught up, her mouth was stuffed full of cookies, looking like she might choke to death. I hurriedly found a bottle of water and handed it to her. The cookies in her mouth finally went down, almost starved to death. I looked at the bag of cookies, now completely unfit to give to anyone else. The paper bag was crumpled. I could strangle her and feel justified. "Are you a dog? Snatching and eating like that?" With a mouthful of cookies, swallowing with difficulty, Graceful Poem grinned triumphantly. "Whatever, I ate them. I told you before. Your little bear cookies are exclusive to me." When you're truly speechless, all you can do is laugh. Listen to yourself. Isn't that the logic of a bandit? She raised an eyebrow. "So what? Hit me then." I shoved the rest of the cookies at her and walked away. The gift for Sister Snow. I'll make it up next time. This little Ansha story can't provoke her, but can't I avoid her? Who'd have thought after stealing the cookies, she still wouldn't leave? She followed behind me, her face infuriatingly smug. Where you going? Dinner! Take me along. I want to meet your classmates. This girl is like dogskin plaster. Once she sticks, you can't peel her off. I still remember high school. We weren't even at the same school. Yet she insisted I pick her up and drop her off. She refused the school shuttle, demanding to ride my bike, claiming the fresh air cleared her mind in the morning. From then on, my rugged mountain bike had a pink rear seat installed. 3 years of high school, not a single peach blossom bloomed. This piece of plaster stuck to me all the way to college. I escaped her once briefly, but now that familiar awful feeling was back. Tonight, Sister Snow invited me for a private dinner. I thought it'd be a good chance to thank her one-ion. Now look, Cookie's gone, and I've got a sticky tail following me. Sorry, Sister Snow. I ran into my mom's best friend's daughter by chance. Graceful Poem shoved me aside and plopped down next to me, all bubbly. Hi, beautiful sister. I'm Silent Stone's nemesis. I saw you in a student council group photo before. So gorgeous! Like you're not even in the same league as Silent Stone. I gave up, but Sister Snow was amused by Graceful Poem, Silent's little sister. Hi, I'm Elegant Melody. She extended her hand. Graceful Poem grabbed it eagerly. Hi. Silent Stone said he meant to treat you alone today, but he was afraid you'd say no, so he dragged me this sticky tail along. This meal's definitely on him. I'd already resigned myself to this little ancestor's storytelling skills. Whether the first brought her or not, I was paying for this meal. But Elegant Melody smiled seriously and said, we should split it. But seeing Silent Stone brought such a sweet, adorable sister, let's let him treat today. Then the two of them hit it off, chatting nonstop, from trending TV dramas to the latest lipstick shades. I couldn't get a word in edgewise. Finally, I managed. Ladies, shall we order first? Elegant Melody, listen to your sister. Graceful Poem, listen to her. Fine, nobody listen to anybody. I faced the menu and ordered a chaotic spread. Since they were chatting so lively, I'd probably be the only one actually eating. Brother Silent Stone at school, does he bother you a lot? He's all brawn, no brains. Graceful Poem said, calling me brother, making my skin crawl. Normally when we're together, she calls me either psycho or dog. But Elegant Melody kept her calm smile. Not at all. Little Silent is diligent and dedicated in the department. He picks things up quickly. Her eyes flicked toward me, a faint sparkle in them. Actually, he takes care of me more. For some reason, goosebumps rose all over me. I was munching on veggies, now frozen in place. Elegant Melody continued, last time I had a stomachache. Little Silent went out of his way to get me medicine. He even brought me hot porridge. I'm really grateful for him. Graceful Poem ground her teeth, glaring at me. That thoughtful, huh? But I heard porridge isn't good for stomachaches. She shot me a fierce look, her cheeks puffed up like a pufferfish. Then she turned to Elegant Melody. So, do you like guys like Silent Stone? Her sudden shift startled me, but Elegant Melody answered calmly, yeah, I kind of do. Such straightforward words. I'd be a fool not to understand, but my heart was a mess. I was afraid Graceful Poem, who can't stand anyone liking me, would lose it right there. For someone single since the womb like her, this scene might be a bit cruel. Thankfully, Graceful Poem took a few deep breaths, barely containing her anger. Haha, didn't expect your taste to be so off. Oh well, since we're having fun, let's have some drinks. Graceful Poem ordered a chaotic mix of liquor, beer and foreign spirits cluttering the table. In all my years, I'd never seen her drink. Seeing her work it up state, I quickly ordered a bunch of soft drinks. I knew there was no stopping this little ancestor, so I had to take a roundabout approach to save the day. She poured liquor into her glass. I secretly swapped it with soda. Even so, before shed drunk half, Graceful Poem passed out. Elegant Melody and I, still perfectly sober, exchanged awkward smiles. Sorry, Sister Snow. My little sister's childish, throwing tantrums at the drop of a hat. Elegant Melody just smiled at me, throwing a tantrum. Don't you feel why she's upset? Her question left me stunned, But the answer seemed clear. I'd just been ignoring it all along. I dodged the topic, Sister Snow. It'll take her back to rest. Really sorry about today. It'll make it up to you next time. Elegant Melody was only slightly tipsy, a faint flush on her face. She suddenly asked, "Is she your sister?" I hesitated sort of. "And do you see her as a sister?" "Sister Snow, what do you mean?" Elegant Melody shook her head lightly. "Maybe I'm a bit drunk, Silent Stone. What I said earlier was sincere. I really do kind of like you." Elegant Melody always carried a gentle air like a breeze under moonlight. Just like now, her eyes soft and tender, silently awaiting my response. Being around her always brought me peace and ease. But as a lover, something still felt missing. I glanced at Graceful Poem slumped over the table, completely knocked out from drinking. Her face still held that familiar scowl. For some reason, my heart stirred faintly. I pressed my lips together, about to speak, when Graceful Poem sprawled on the table, suddenly shot up, yelling, "Where's the booze? Fill it up, no escaping." After her outburst, her head tilted, and she collapsed right into me. I scrambled to catch her, while saying to Elegant Melody, "Sister Snow, thank you for liking me." But I glanced at Graceful Poem, then back at her. "It's okay. This kind of liking could just be between friends." The smile in her eyes remained as gentle and warm as ever. Then Graceful Poem suddenly threw up. If she hadn't genuinely vomited twice, I'd have seriously suspected she was faking it. It took everything to get her back to the hotel. I felt like an old mother, now taking off her shoes, now fetching water. If you can't handle alcohol, don't drink. Now you're drunk and just making yourself suffer. The person on the bed curled up, letting out a faint pained whimper. I sighed, grabbing a wet towel to carefully wipe her face clean. Graceful Poem's eyes were closed, her face flushed red. Whether from the alcohol or my wiping, I couldn't tell. As I wiped, I lectured, "Are you crazy? Don't you know your limit? Drinking liquor, that's bad for you. You're a girl. If you got this drunk alone out there, do you know how dangerous that could be? You're driving me up the wall." Suddenly she grabbed my hand, making me jump. Graceful Poem, somehow awake, stared straight at me, her eyes misty and unreadable. I don't know how long we gazed at each other in silence. Graceful Poem softly said, "I'm sorry." I almost thought I'd misheard. To my shock, she repeated, "I'm sorry." Silent Stone, she was speaking like a human for once. I wasn't used to it. "Are you okay? Did the alcohol fry your brain?" Graceful Poem didn't respond, but her eyes reddened, looking pitiful, like she might cry. I'd never seen her like this. Normally, out of 5 sentences she said to me, 3 were insults. Now on the verge of tears. I felt awkward and couldn't bring myself to scold her further. I tried to comfort her. "It's not a big deal to have a low tolerance. Next time, know your limits. Don't drink like this again, especially when I'm not around. Safety comes first." Got it? Graceful Poem ignored my comforting words, and my nagging too. She just looked at me, her eyes shimmering with tears. "That beautiful sister likes you. She treats you so well, doesn't she? She doesn't seem bad at all." Graceful Poem pressed her lips together, her eyes brimming with tears, like pearls slipping off a broken string. "I like you too." My first reaction was that she was teasing me again. I searched her face for signs of a prank, but only saw her eyes growing red. "Clearly, I liked you first. So am I too late now? You like her, and she likes you." Her words caught in her throat. Graceful Poem pulled the blanket over her face, and all I could hear was her muffled, sorrowful voice. "Can you not like her?" My ears rang, a sharp metallic hum echoing in my head. All I could feel was my heart pounding fiercely, so fast it seemed to vibrate in my chest. Something in my heart was fermenting, like it wanted to burst it open. Graceful Poem's words were like hammer strikes, pounding into my heart. My whole being felt awakened. I sat there dazed for a long time. When I opened my mouth, I said, "Don't cry under the blanket. You'll suffocate." Then Graceful Poem locked herself in the bathroom. Was she sulking? I didn't know whether to stay or go. In this situation, should I offer some comfort? But with a girl locking herself in the bathroom, I couldn't exactly barge in. After much thought, I decisively called my friend Brett Harmony. He was the one who said Graceful Poem's constant clashes with me were because she liked me. He even counted on his fingers, predicting that she'd confess to me in the next few days. Back then I looked at him like he was an idiot. Now, I suspected Bright Harmony had a knack for fortune-telling. I recounted the whole story. On the other end, he laughed so hard it could shake mountains. So Graceful Poem knew the address of your volunteer because of me, the big-mouthed blabber. I knew it. She got jealous seeing Sister Snow, didn't she? She even cried. She always fake cried before. But this time it's real. I can't believe you made Graceful Poem cry. Want your mom break your dog legs? Oh man, Silent Stone, you're done for. Bright Harmony was clearly enjoying the drama, not minding the chaos. I cut him off. Think of something. She's locked herself in the bathroom. What if she's crying in there? Alright, it'll be serious. Bright Harmony cleared his throat. Knock on the door. Knock, then what? What do I say? What if she opens it and punches me twice? In this situation, if you don't propose right now, it'll be hard to fix. Ha 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 ha. Bright Harmony's explosive laughter nearly burst my eardrums. The least reliable thing in this world is a so-called friend. Just as I was about to curse, the bathroom door creaked open. I hurriedly hung up the phone. Graceful Poem slowly stepped out, her face and hair drenched, her eyes red like a little rabbit's. I cautiously asked, "You okay?" "I'm fine." She took a step forward, backing me into a corner. I tried to sidestep, but she blocked my escape with her hand. A perfect wall slam. I was cornered by a girl again. She seemed to summon immense resolve, taking several deep breaths before speaking. "Whether you and Sister Snow are mutually interested or not, if decided to say it, listen to me until I'm done." She was so close. So hot. Graceful Poem was much shorter than me. Her hands braced on either side of me, looking like she was enveloping me. The distance too close. Waves of heat radiated from her, and I felt like I was about to combust. Let's put it this way. I'm not okay with this. I'm afraid I'll lose to her. She stared at me intently. Silent Stone, my feelings for you aren't some impulsive whim or a sudden fancy. The first time I hit you, I already liked you. I muttered softly. My mom said when you were just crawling. You punched me once. Don't interrupt. Anyway, in my memory, the first time I hit you was because you made a flower crown for another girl. My eyes glazed over, and I mumbled the flower crown on that spring outing. I made them for half the class. Graceful Poem finally lost it. She suddenly stood on tiptoe, leaning in close. Interrupt me again and I'll kiss you. I quickly covered my mouth, completely speechless. Who knew you'd be such a blockhead all these years? Anyway, you're about to fall for that beautiful sister. Today I'm going to let go for— Who said I'm falling for her? Her eyes suddenly lit up. You're not falling for her. She's so beautiful. Just moments ago she was confessing with a dejected air, but now she seemed to glow with life. I pursed my lips. Just because she's beautiful doesn't mean I have to like her. The girl I like isn't about her looks. Graceful Poem's lips curved into a faint smile. Moments ago she was a readied bunny. Now she was back to her usual sly fox self. She stood on tiptoe, whispering in my ear, "Want to try with me? They say online that to know if you like someone, a kiss will tell you right away." Her forehead hair was still dripping, her eyes wet but resolute like never before. She tugged at my shirt, soaking a large patch, the white fabric turning slightly transparent. I quickly turned my head to avoid her gaze. It hit me, we'd both grown up without realizing it. Graceful Poem was no longer the kid who'd cry over a piece of candy. Now she was shedding tears for me. "You sure?" I asked. Graceful Poem wrapped her arms around my waist, her little head resting against my chest. My mind exploded with a bang, the last shred of rationality blown to bits. Silent Stone, I dazedly lowered my head, my eyes meeting hers. Before I could react, she stood on tiptoe and kissed me. Graceful Poem's lips barely brushed mine, and I could feel her nervousness, her eyelashes trembling slightly. She had to stand on tiptoe to reach, looking domineering, but I could easily push her away. For some reason, my heart melted into a puddle. My head heated up. and I pulled her close, deepening the kiss. The scent of mint overwhelmed me, sweeping me away. Graceful Poem felt my response, her body trembling as if shocked. Like a little kitten, she nestled into my arms, quickly softening, her breathing uneven, pushing at me with her hands. But I held the back of her neck, kissing harder. The roles reversed. Now I was the one pinning her against the wall. No matter how she pushed, she couldn't break free. Finally, she bit me hard. "Are you trying to kill me?" Her breathing was ragged, gasping for fresh air. But I wasn't much better off. Both of us, like Wed, just sprinted 100 meters. I asked her, "What did you feel?" Her face burned red, her eyes dodging mine. "What feeling? Where's your mind going?" I pulled her into my arms, letting her head rest against my chest. "Didn't you say a kiss would tell? Listen to my heartbeat. Does it sound like I like you?" I didn't need to listen to know. My heart was pounding like a war drum, so fast, like an ancient rhythm. I suddenly understood what was missing when I was with elegant melody. Only Graceful Poem could make the deer in my heart run wild like this. Afterward, we returned to the room. I was useless getting a nosebleed. I feared staying longer would make me spontaneously combust. Lying on the bed, tossing and turning, nose stuffed with tissue, I couldn't sleep a wink. That night felt like a dream. My heart still racing out of control, unable to calm down. At 3 in the morning, I texted Graceful Poem, saying I'd taken 3 cold showers and read 5 ghost stories, and was now eerily calm. She asked what I wanted. I said I wanted to see her. She told me to get lost. At 4 in the morning, I sent over a dozen cute puppy emojis, trying to awaken her sympathy. She replied with a meme. Message received by owner. 2 insomniacs finally reached an agreement. Hungry Wed go to the beach to watch the sunrise. She and I sat side by side, the horizon just showing a hint of white. The sea breeze brushed across our faces, sweeping away all exhaustion. I pressed Graceful Poem's head to rest on my shoulder. "Here is your shoulder to lean on." She scoffed. "Silent Stone, do you have to be so cheesy? Isn't that how it is in movies?" At sunrise, the heroine always leans on the hero's shoulder. Her face was full of disdain, but she obediently rested on my shoulder. After a moment of silence, I suddenly recalled a lingering doubt in my heart. "Hey, Graceful Poem, why didn't you smell like alcohol last night? I clearly remember you vomited several times, but the kiss was all mint." Graceful Poem gazed at the horizon, grinning smugly. "Because I brushed my teeth." "You brushed your teeth?" I couldn't believe it, silly. When I hid in the bathroom, I secretly brushed. She was proud. "From now on, every time you brush your teeth, you'll think of this kiss." Her words made me blush. The sunrise glowed golden, the sun peeking through the clouds, its radiant light spilling across the sea. "Wow, the sunrise!" Graceful Poem cheered excitedly, slapping my shoulder hard. But I just stared at her, dazed. "What are you looking at me for? Watch the sunrise." In her eyes, the dawn sparkled, reflecting only me. The sunlight was dazzling, the sun breathtaking, but it couldn't compare to the person before me. If this were a movie, the leads would kiss right now. As I leaned in to kiss her, I caught that rich mint scent again. This kiss was gentle and lingering, our breaths mingling. The little cat retracted her claws, becoming soft and tender in my arms. She lazily said, "Good morning, boyfriend." From enemies to boyfriend and girlfriend. That's quite a leap. Graceful Poem still called me dog. Since for years, that's been her nickname for me. I kept acting cute in front of her, begging her to change it. "I'm used to it. Dogs are cute, you know. Don't you like dogs?" "That's not intimate enough. Look, I call you treasure. You don't make me change that." Didn't someone say only dogs would like me and bark? After much effort, the nickname Graceful Poem gave me evolved from dog to puppy. How to put it? The revolution hasn't succeeded yet, but one day it'll get her to drop the prefix. Back when we were at odds, I always saw Graceful Poem as a little sister, a kid. Now that our relationships changed, I realized her suitors could line up from the dorms to the train station. So the second day after Graceful Poem's school started, I showed up at her dorm. "What are you doing here?" Graceful Poem frowned at me. I wore a whitey black track pants, hair carefully styled with gel, even swapping my watch for a sporty one. How do I look? Here to stake my claim on your turf, obviously. I stepped forward to hug her. Can't I visit my girlfriend? The dorm area was bustling with people. Graceful Poem quickly pushed me away. Perfect timing. Help me carry the water. Today was a friendly basketball match between the student council and the freshmen. Graceful Poem was in charge of logistics. I knew, of course. I was the student council's ringer. So when I stepped onto the court in my basketball jersey, Graceful Poem's stunned expression was just too adorable. As I kept slamming dunks, crushing the freshmen, she realized I was there to show off. The friendly match wasn't supposed to draw a crowd, but as the student council and I cinched up, cheers started ringing out. Every time I scored, I looked at her, earning countless glares in return. Graceful Poem guarded to crates of mineral water. But soon, a gaggle of girls watching the game surrounded her. A friendly match felt like a school championship. By the end, the freshmen had no fight left, the score gap stretching to dozens of points. When the game ended, girls crowded around offering me water. My eyes landed on Graceful Poem. To my surprise, she was calm as ever. Is this how a player acts? Catching someone and then taking them for granted. I pointed her out to the water-offering girls and walked straight to her. Girlfriend, give me some water. All eyes turned to her. Graceful Poem's little face flushed red. She yanked out 2 bottles and tossed them at me. I didn't catch them picking up the half-drunk one she'd used, chugging it down. The crowd erupted in cheers again. Show off complete. Territory claimed. Mission accomplished. We held hands strolling through campus. Graceful Poem's face alternated between red and pale. She's the type who's cold outside, warm inside. Only bold with me because she's used to me. My stunt made the whole school know about us, and her thin skin couldn't handle it. Showing off at my school. Don't you trust me? Graceful Poem grumbled. This is called territorial instinct. What do you know? Besides, you're the only one who gets to claim me. I can't come to your school to prove myself. She laughed and cursed. You really are a dog. Dog or not a dog with a wife isn't shameful. The shameless rule the world. Before, she was always the one pulling tricks. Now I used her own tactics against her, leaving her speechless. She lowered her head, chuckling helplessly. I gripped her hand tighter. As our fingers intertwined, I slipped a 6-pronged diamond ring I'd prepared onto her middle finger. Graceful Poem flinched, holding up her hand to inspect the ring. What's this? I slipped one hand in my pocket, grinning smugly. Your man's got some cash. She moved to take it off. I dropped to one knee. Graceful Poem, 5 days from now is your 21st birthday. Also the 21st year we've known each other. Before, I never faced my own heart. Thank you for waking me up. From now on, only you get to bully me. I won't fight back or argue. It'll be good to you alone. Every promise I make to you, I'll keep. Every word I say to you is sincere. When you're happy, I'll share your joy. When you're sad, it'll make you smile. Forever, Graceful Poem will be the most beautiful to me. In my dreams, it's you. In my heart, it's you. One day in the future, please become my lawful wife, no matter how long you'll wait. This was from Graceful Poem's favorite movie, The Lion Roars. I'd watched it dozens of times, memorizing this monologue. Under the sunset, I knelt on one knee, using lines from her favorite film to confess to the girl I love most. I looked at Graceful Poem, tears welling in her eyes. The next second, she pulled me through the crowd, running like the wind. Is this a yes? If it's not, I'll kneel again. Yes, yes, yes. Her face was redder than the sunset. I glanced at the growing crowd behind us. People snapping photos, grinning triumphantly. Silent Stone, well, we've got a lifetime to settle scores. She punched my arm fiercely, but her face held an uncontainable smile. Fine, we've got a whole life to figure it out. The story ends here. Thanks for following Koi Nu Yen Reviews.